So I'm standing beside the 2016 Corolla, and Toyota's advertising on this car is like you've never seen it. And this is definitely not the Corolla that I learned how to drive in, and this is definitely not the Corolla that you remember. Why don't we take a closer look? This new Corolla is definitely longer than the previous generation, about 10 centimeters overall. It also sports a sleeker, sportier roofline. 16-inch steel wheels with hubcaps are standard, and there's an option to go to 17s. LED projector headlamps are standard in all Corollas, and this definitely makes a huge difference at night. So one of the first things you're going to notice when you actually jump in the Corolla is the seats. They actually feel like they're aftermarket. They're extremely well bolstered on the sides, and they hug you, which is, I really wasn't expecting that. They are lacking maybe a little bit of lumbar support, but I mean, I'm a big fan over all of them. They have this nice little two-tone fabrically and faux leather trim going on here, which gives it more of a sporty look, which I'm definitely a fan of. And also the steering wheel, it's leather wrapped, and it has really nice stitching all the way around it. And the center shape of the steering wheel kind of matches the headrest, which is a little feature that I found pretty interesting. It has these little thumb grips as well, which adds to the aggressive and sporty nature of this Corolla S model. Continuing in the interior, this Corolla S at least comes with a 6.1-inch display on the main screen and a smaller TFT dash, or screen rather, in between the two gauges here, which is more of a going trend in this segment, and they actually do a really good job with it. It's actually really easy to use. There's very minimal buttons. Most of it is controlled by the screen itself, which I like. It's not overly bombarded with buttons, and you won't find yourself confusing. It's very simple to just jump in and learn. I paired my phone in 2 seconds, and it works great. Text messages come in, calls are nice, crisp, and clear, which is good. One thing I did notice that you might find kind of an inconvenience, or you might not really like it, is when you're actually in driving position on the car and your hands are on the wheel, and let's say you want to reach for the tune button, that is the furthest button away on the dash. You actually have to reach, like I have to extend my arm almost fully out to hit the button, and it kind of takes your off balance, and your hands aren't perfectly on the wheel. Same thing with actually the mirrors. When you go to adjust the mirrors, it's kind of in an awkward spot where you have to kind of lean down and hit the buttons for the left and right mirror and actually adjust. And what it does is you actually kind of have to go back a couple times, because you actually have to move forward instead of staying in your driving position and messing around with your mirrors. A 1.8 liter four-cylinder is standard on the base CE model all the way up to and including this S model, which produces 132 horsepower. You will get an 8 horsepower jump to 140 if you opt for the Corolla LE Eco model. This Corolla is optioned with the CVT-i S transmission with paddle shifters. Now, any CVT transmission takes some time getting used to, but I'm actually a big fan of this one. And the sport mode with the paddle shifters is actually quite interesting. It actually mimics 7 gears, which is actually a pretty cool feature, and should attract a much younger crowd. And I mean, I like it. As soon as I jumped in the car, I slapped it in sport mode, and I drove a solid hour with the paddle shifters, and I really didn't have any complaints about it. So I've had this Corolla for about a week now, and I've been keeping a pretty close eye on the fuel economy numbers. So actually, right when I got this car, I reset all of it, and what I'm seeing is 7.4 liters per 100 kilometers on average. And I mean, that's pretty impressive to me, because ever since I've got it, I mean, I've been going back and forth in the sport mode and playing with the paddle shifters, and I'm really happy to see that it's a lower number than I was expecting. So Toyota's actual numbers are 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers city and 6.1 liters highway. And I have been doing a mixture of both, definitely more city than highway. And I'm really pumped to see that I could actually stay within that fuel range while still putting the car in sport mode. And that's definitely a plus. So if you're actually in the market for a $20,000, entry-level vehicle, I would definitely take a closer look at the Corolla. And I mean, if you're like me, the last time you were in a Corolla, or the last time you actually thought of Corolla, was, you know, when you were in driving school. And I mean, that's where this car kind of applies to. It applies to someone, you know, in the earlier mid-20s that's, you know, looking for their first maybe brand new vehicle. And you might just overlook it, but it actually surprised me. When I actually got into this car, it actually exceeded every expectation that I had of the Corolla. So if you're in the market, definitely check one out, jump into one, drive it, and I think you'll actually be pleasantly surprised.
Thanks to Marc for doing his very first YouTube video for Motormouth Canada. It really helps if you can subscribe, and if you want to watch another Toyota review, click the picture on the left.